I'm Lisa Fulmer. Have I told you just how much I love paper? I love paper. I especially love the big sheets of art paper. There's a store in San Francisco that I really love to go to. It's an art supply store, and it has a whole room dedicated to art papers with all those big flat drawers, and you pull each one open and you see what's inside. Love it! So today's episode was definitely one of my favorites. I took some of these beautiful art papers and I wove them together to create a lovely panel to alter this beautiful wood tray. Let me show you how I did it. So I'm starting with this large piece of art paper taped with some painter's tape to my cutting mat. And I'm not too worried about the overall size. I'll trim it more squarely when I'm done with the weaving. So right now I'm just taking my ruler and my rotary cutter and cutting this into 1-inch strips, but I'm not going all the way to the edge. I'm starting at the edge down here, but I'm leaving a nice about 2-inch length at the top because that's going to help me with the weaving. And then I'm going to take my second piece of art paper and do the same thing, cutting 1-inch strips going in the opposite direction. Next, you want to lay the two pieces of paper one on top of the other and tape everything down with some blue painter's tape. And I've got my strips for the horizontal kind of curled away, and I'm taking one at a time and I'm going to weave them in and out of the strips going vertically. When you get to the end, just go through and make sure that your strips are nested right next to each other. You want to make sure that all your little intersections are right next to each other so you've got really nice crisp squares. And come over here and take a little piece of blue painter's tape and tape down what you just completed, and that helps keep the weaving nice and even, and it gives you something to press against as you continue on down. Now I need to get this weaving off the cutting mat and onto a foundation. It's taped on 3 sides from when I wove it, and now I'm going to slide a piece of cardboard in on the open side and very carefully slide it in there, and then I'm going to remove the tape from the cutting mat and wrap those strips around to the back of the cardboard. And that's going to give me a nice foundation to seal this and keep the strips all together with a little bit of decoupage medium, and that's going to keep it all nice and glossy until I get ready to crop it. The next thing you want to do is get yourself an ugly tray on clearance at the craft store or the home dec store. This is a wooden tray. I don't really care for the image that's pasted at the bottom of it. It's got a nice depth to it. It has nice cutout handles, nice dark wood. So we're going to alter this tray. In my town, there is a plastic store where you, for just a few dollars, you can get them to cut a piece of plastic custom to the size you need, and it's going to fit right in this tray on top of our weaving. So next, I'm going to take my piece of plastic and use it as a template to trim my weaving to the right size to fit underneath it. So I'm positioning it sort of in the center of the weaving, making sure I like how I'm cropping this down, and then I'm going to use a marker to trace the edges so I know where to cut. Next, I'm going to take my quilting ruler and my cutting mat and my rotary cutter, and I'm going to trim along my lines very slowly and carefully, make a couple of passes so that I don't drag on the weaving and mess up the papers. So I put down just a little bit of glue. I'm dropping my weaving right down into the bottom, giving it a good firm press. I'm going to take my piece of plastic, I'm going to drop that right on top, and I'm not going to worry too much about gluing the plastic down or sealing it because I'm just going to use this for display, but the plastic will protect my weaving from whatever I set on top of it. It's perfect for a desk or just a candle display on the table, and you're done. Look how beautiful this tray is now. So, what are you waiting for? Go get some art paper. Beautiful, beautiful art paper. And make something wonderful. I'm Lisa Fulmer. I think it's cool to craft.